loves, this is Bobby and I am here with another vlog. And this is going to be vlog number 28. We're coming up on the end of the year. I am very, very excited for this. I had another amazing reading week. I finished 3 books this week. One of these is well over 1,000 pages and the other one was another chunky boy. So I've had a great reading week. Like I said, this if you watched my TBR for the month, you know that a lot of these books that I'm reading are well over 500 pages. So yes. I'm doing all of these for the reindeer readathon. I hope you like my newest set of antlers here. These have the little lights on them and everything. Also, they're so tall that I had to totally back my camera up because it was like really hard to get them in the shot. So yes. Also this week I have a couple little extra clips. I had some fun, got into the holiday spirit because like I said, I had a couple extra days off for work. So I will pop those clips right in. Hey loves, here with a quick little update. It is Friday. I am currently listening to The Way of the Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I am about 70% done, I believe. I'm almost there. I'm loving it. Won't lie, got a little lost a couple times there because there's just so much freaking information like kind of getting dumped on me, but I'm loving it so much. Like, it's phenomenal. I can't wait to see how it's gonna end. Well, what brings this little update, since I haven't really been doing like daily updates or anything anymore in the vlogs, I am going to be baking today. I'm going to be making cutout sugar cookies for the very first time. I'm very excited. I have made plenty of different cookies. Like, I love making chocolate chip cookies. I make strawberry vanilla chip cookies. I make tons of different cookies, but I've actually never made the cutout sugar cookies. Very excited, and I've just kind of like felt like baking today, so I thought, let's do this, why not? So, and I'm feeling very festive, so here we go. I'm gonna just wish me luck because I'm a little nervous, but excited. And no matter what, like, honestly, unless I truly screw this up, they're gonna taste like pretty good, I think. So I will throw in a little clips of me kind of doing, you know, kind of baking and everything. So there we go. I will check in later. Bye. And here we go. And here they are. Totally forgot to take a picture before I frosted them. There we go. Thought they came out pretty good. Tastes pretty awesome. So yes, I am still eating these cookies. Like, I have a lot of cookies to eat and they're delicious and I don't need to eat them all. So didn't really think that through because, you know, the whole pandemic and that people really don't want to accept, you know, even though COVID-free house and everything, a lot of people are very iffy about accepting food from others right now. So we have a lot of cookies in my house at this point and I want to make more, but I have to stop myself because there's no way we're going to eat all these damn cookies or that we need to eat these cookies. So I'm going to go probably give some to my neighbors, but yeah. So let's get into my reading week. But we're here to talk books for this week. I'm excited to talk about these, especially this first one, because mind blown. It was amazing. It lived up to the hype for me, and I cannot wait to get into the next book. So I read this for the prompt of Prancer, which is to read a book featuring a map inside, and I went with Brandon Sanderson's The Way of the King. I have the double edition. Very, very chunky boy. This clocks in over 1,000 pages. Yes, it is very big. I did the audiobook for these. I absolutely love doing Brandon Sanderson's books as audiobooks because they are just so much going on and I really enjoy the narrators. If I reread these, I would like to read them physically next time. I'm just really enjoying the audiobooks, and because there's so much going on, I just find it a lot easier to follow along this first time around because there's a lot happening. We follow so many different characters, different timelines, and when you think you've gotten all the characters, all of a sudden we have a like another introduction going on and we've got more characters, but there's just so much happening. But I loved it. I loved absolutely everything about this book. I really enjoy Brandon Sanderson's writing, as you know. His endings are always really great. But I love the way he writes his characters, especially in this one. Well, even all of them so far. His men characters, even though they have these very, powerful positions and things, he writes his men soft. Like, they have genuine emotions. They show their emotions. We have men that are crying and they talk about, their feelings and stuff like that. And I just appreciate it so freaking much. I love his female characters. They always have so many different, traits to them and stuff. I just enjoy his characters. His other favorite thing about, one of my other favorite things about his writing is his character relationships. Like, he doesn't just stick to, here's a character, this is everything that's important to them, they're the only thing that's important. No, he builds up friendships and relationships, good, bad, whatever. He knows how to build a relationship between characters, and I get so invested, because so many books we just don't focus on like all these other, relationships. It's always just focused on the romantic relationship in so many books, and his, we actually genuinely get like family and, friends and everything, and I love it. Let's see. I don't even know how to talk about this book or where to start, because there's just so much going on. I will say I did have a favorite character, and it was Yasna. Like, if you've read the book, but I just adore her because she doesn't give a fuck about what anybody thinks about her. She's smart, she's ruthless, and I have a crush. I don't even remember the last time I had a crush on a character in a book, but holy crap, do I got a crush on her. I am hoping, like, if you've read the series, like, I don't want to spoil her, but I just want to know, like, she's featured in at least the next book. Like, I need to know this. Please tell me that she's, like, heaven. Like, the way it ended, it kind of told me that she is, but I need to know that she's going to be in there more. Like, if you've read these, please, please, please let me know that just Yasna is going to be in there more, because I love her with, like, all my heart, because she's just amazing. Okay. Let's try and talk about this, because as you know, if you've watched any videos of mine, I am shit with names. Like, I'm terrible with names as it is, like, period. Like, if I meet you, like, the amount of people that I know that know my name, and I've known them for years and I don't actually know their name, is really sad. And it's gotten to the point where I can't ask, like, hey, what's your name again? Because I just, like, I'm terrible with them. Like, they're just, like, acquaintances. Like, we might run into each other here and there, and it's just, like, I genuinely don't know your name, and I want to ask, but it's too awkward at this point, so I'm just going to pretend and be super nice because I don't know your name. So when it comes to books, and especially books that have a ton of characters, which this does, yeah, I have no hope. One of my goals for the new year is to really start taking notes while I am reading books, especially when it comes to character names and more, so I can really get in depth. I'll get into that in another video that I'm going to do either by the end of this year or beginning of next year, really talking about my goals and stuff for 2021. So let's get into this, because I've already been rambling long enough. We follow different characters, but the kind of three main ones that we're following, the first one is Cal, or Kaladin. He used to be like part of the army and everything, and then he is branded as a slave, and he is thrown in as a bridgemen, which they're basically like the ones in the army that they're slaves, so they're the ones that you can sacrifice without having to like blink an eye about. We don't know why or how. We slowly start finding out, and when we do find out, my heart. But I love Kaladin so much. Like, just his story is such an up and down, and just like, I got attached to him. I got attached to all these characters, but I got attached to him, and I loved everything, just seeing how he grew and everything. And the more we learn, I can't really talk about any of them that much because I don't want to give absolutely anything away if you haven't read this. I think I'm one of like the last few people that haven't read this series because I'm late to all the parties. But then we have Dalinar, who is a Bright Lord, or a High Prince, I believe he is. His brother was the king. His brother was assassinated, and now his nephew is king, and his nephew is this kind of like really all over the place type of dude. Like, he'll do these crazy stunts and stuff like this and be like, show that he's really brave, but he's also incredibly paranoid about being assassinated like his dad, that he's such a crazy character. And to see someone like Dalinar interact with him and trying to balance his paranoia. And then Dalinar is also having these visions during these storms that he doesn't know what the hell's going on. So he thinks he's losing his mind. So he's dealing with the paranoia of his nephew. He thinks he's losing his mind. Everyone else thinks he's losing his mind. There's so much going on. And he's a character where you're not sure how to feel about him until the end. Like, I really wasn't sure, do I really like you? Do I not? And then we get to the end and I absolutely adored him by the end. Like, the more we learn about him, the more I just kind of just really got attached to him. And his like full like ending scene for this was just like, had me almost clapping. Like, I was getting ready to put, pause the audiobook and just start clapping because I was like, yes, you get him, boy, you get him. And then we have Shallan, who her father has died, and they have these things called soul casters, which is like a way for them to do magic. You're able to turn one element into something else, and theirs is broken from her family. So she has the idea to go to Yasna, who is the one that was my favorite character, and that is also the niece of Dalinar, I believe. Like, these are like separate characters whose stories are slowly intertwining with each other, and then the more we build up to them intertwining, I was just like, yes, 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 yes. But Shallan has the idea she's going to replace this broken one with the one that Yasna has, which is working, and take it back to her family so that they can try and fix all the debts that her father has accumulated before his death, because if not, they were going to lose everything. And I really liked Shallan's character. She was another one I wasn't sure how much I was liking her until we slowly, because we don't get that much of her, especially in the second half. We didn't get that much of her, and I wanted more because I was really interested in her character. But in this world, there are like things people can learn are gendered, like reading and histories and stuff like that are seen as feminine, and like music and art are seen as feminine things, and masculine or anything like with, for like military and stuff. So none of the men in here like know how to read. All the women read for them and write everything down for them. It's a really crazy balance. Like, at first I didn't know how I felt about it, and the more I think about it, like, it's just a crazy concept, and I'm really interested to see hopefully that plays in more into the future. But so Shallan gets into all kinds of just kind of things there, because she's like genuinely like a sweet, kind of naive person that's been super sheltered, and then she's getting thrown into this actual like kind of cutthroat world that she's learning about more, and I just really enjoyed her. And she starts uncovering these kind of secrets and things, and it's just crazy. Like, I love it. I cannot wait for the second book. I have the hold for the audiobook for my library, and I need it. I'm hoping it comes through in January so I can get into the next book, but I need to finish these because I know the last one not the last one, the newest book just came out, and I've been trying to just avoid every spoiler possible because I haven't been spoiled and I don't want to be spoiled. But yes, I adore it. And that was like, 10 minutes of me talking about one book. So yeah, let's get into, like I said, there's so much to unpack about that. I love it. I loved him so much. I cannot wait for the next one. The next one that I did was for Donner, which is to read a book that has something hidden in it. It could be under the dust jacket, things inside. I started and now officially finished the series this year, and it is one of my favorites. I loved it. Every book has been 5 stars, so has this one, and that is Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is a sci-fi YA craziness. Like, I love it. The hidden part of this is the fact that these are told in a mixed media style. It's got pictures. There's a lot of things are told in interviews or in like instant messages type of thing, emails like that. This is crazy. I can't talk that much about it because it will spoil the other 2 books, but this was an amazing ending. I loved it. I definitely recommend the audiobook if audiobooks are something you're able to do, because this is a full cast with sound effects and everything. It is phenomenal. I just adored it. Because there's 3 books. Each book has a new set of kind of like main characters that are in there. I really liked it, but I loved how everything just kind of came together. We've got great characters. Everything about this, though, I freaking loved it. I definitely want to do a reread of this series sometime in the future. I could see myself wanting to do a reread because it was just phenomenal. It was so much fun. Like I said, the very mixed, since I do audiobook while following completely along with the book, I feel is the best way to do this if you're able to, because they skip a lot of stuff, and then like with the artwork that's in here, you don't get it in the audiobook, but with this, just the physical book, you don't get the sound effects and the full cast and everything. So it's just, this was fun. Like if you just want a really good time for a book series that's just going to get you really interested and keep you hooked, I definitely recommend the Illuminae Files, because it was great. The next book that I read, though, is not for the Reindeer Readathon. This is just one that I read and I started last week, so you already know. And that is Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline. I did end up finishing it. I didn't know if I was going to, but I had a couple extra days off of work and I finished it. I went with 3 stars because it felt like a safe bet. I didn't know. I hated the beginning of this. Like, it dragged for about 150 pages. Like, so much crap that didn't need to really be in there. You could have, Ernest Cline could have updated us a lot easier with, you know, everything that was built up, but we don't get to the actual plot until 150 pages in. This book is only 360 some pages. So 150 pages is just whining. I'm not even gonna like be nice about it. It's literally just whining in the first 150 pages on how his life, the main character Wade's life, is just like so sad now. And then we finally, 150 pages in, get to the actual plot. This was worse than Nevernight for me, and if you don't know, look back on anything where I talked about Nevernight and that, because I love Nevernight, but the first 50 pages were terrible. This was 150 pages that were terrible. Once we get into the actual swing of everything, it was really fun. It was a lot like Ready Player One, which that is one of my favorite books. I've read the book like 6 times. I adore it. I even did a reread in November for it. But this, I hated the ending for this as well. Like, I won't spoil absolutely anything, but I fucking hated the ending. I was so disappointed in it. Like, when it ended, I'm like, really? Really? This is one of those where it was just really, really. So it was a solid 3. I didn't despise the book or anything. It was just, the middle was fun. There was a certain world in here dedicated to a certain artist who I loved how it was handled in here, though, because it did point out how special that artist is to people, but then later on in his career, how much it hurt those same people. I don't want to spoil any of that because that was my favorite part of this book. Like, it was so much fun. Should have probably like told you. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Ready Player One's about because like there was even a movie that was terrible. But we follow in this futuristic world that everyone basically lives online. Like, there is still, you know, day-to-day life, but it's just absolute shit. So everybody joins this online kind of video game called the Oasis, where anything is possible. While in here, we're stepping up the game of the Oasis. I won't give away anything for that. But we follow the same characters from the first one. I really didn't like what he did with the characters in this one. I loved all of them in the first one. Like, that was one of those books where I liked the characters you were supposed to like. I hated the characters you were supposed to hate. In here, I just really didn't like most of the characters. Like, he took all of everything that made the characters kind of fun and great and just kind of flushed it down the toilet. We do get better after the 150 pages and stuff, but still, I just feel like he messed them up. He took so much away from them in that first 150 pages that I just didn't connect with them like I did in the first book, and it was kind of just almost unrepairable for like, I'm like, you hurt these characters for me, like I don't care anymore. But like I said, it was fun. Like, if I was to do a reread of this, I would skip the first 150 pages, get into the rest of it, and then probably not want to read the ending, because like I said, I was very, very disappointed in that ending. But I would still recommend it if you did enjoy the first one. It is one, like, Ready Player One is not a book that needed a sequel. And while this was fun, honestly, if you don't want to read it, don't. Like, stay with Ready Player One and you'll be fine. The ending for that is open enough that you can kind of just go with whatever you want. This one, I hated the ending, like I said. But all in all, 3 stars, super average. It was fun where it needed to be fun. It just really dragged in the beginning and then the ending. So, yeah, there we go. That was my reading week. Like I said, had a great reading week. Between just these 2, though, alone, like, It's a lot of pages. And then throw that on top of it. For only finishing 3 books, it's a lot of pages going on there. So there we go. Really quick before I let you go, my next week book, I'm really gunning for just 1 book next week, except for Friday, because Friday is Christmas. So I will be reading a very special book for that one, which is part of the readathon. But my next week is going to be dedicated to the Priory of the Orange Tree. Another very, very chunky book. This thing tops in at, what is it? True. 830 pages. I thought it was longer. I thought it was like 1,000 pages. Huh. Still very, very huge. And even the Way of the Kings was like bigger, this just feels more intimidating to me. It's intimidating me for the whole year, but I'm gonna read it. I'm very excited to get into this. Don't really know too much about it. Don't want to know too much about it. I just know we've got a sapphic romance and we've got dragons and it's fantasy, obviously, but that's all I need to know. So this is my next week goal. For Christmas though, Christmas Day, I'm going to be reading A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I've actually never read this. I love the movie. I've watched The Muppet already, and then I'll watch Scrooged, and then I watch like every version of this almost, and I've never read the book. I'm going to be doing the audiobook. I found an audiobook of read by Tim Curry, and Tim Curry is like one of the lights of my life. So I'm excited for that. But yes, so this is Christmas Day, and this is the rest of the week, however long it takes me to get done with that, because I don't know. But yeah, so besides those are like what I'm done with. And then after that, I don't know what I'm going to be reading. It's kind of just up to whatever I want to finish my year off with, which I'm excited for. So there we go. That is what's what. That's another week. As always, I'm Bobby. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, happy reading. Bye.